What an awesome day it is here in Middle Tennessee and the Nashville area. It is sunny. We've got blue skies like you can see. Oh, it is awesome out here. And I am here to show you 5899 Wilshire Drive, and that is in the Forest Hills community, which is just between Brentwood and Green Hills in Nashville. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go through and I'm going to show you the entire home. We're going to do an entire walkthrough video, so this isn't a reel where you are just seeing the highlights and we're fluffing pillows and turning on faucets and anything like that. We're walking through the whole house, and this home is over 7,600 square feet, so it's going to take a few minutes to show you the whole home. So if you want to grab a drink and a snack, get ready and we will walk through the entire home and show it to you now. The home here in Forest Hills sits on just over 1.6 acres. And you know, sometimes when people decide to come to town and they want a home that's a little bit closer in, they think they have to give up space and everything's going to be, you know, high density. But you have 1.6 acres here. So this is just incredible. You've got mature trees, mature landscaping. So, you know, it's not like a new build. When you go in and you've got a plant, you've got to wait about 10 years for everything to grow in. This is ready to roll. So we're going to pop inside here, show you kind of the finishes, the floor plan of everything, maybe put a little commentary just about homes in general to kind of educate anybody who might be looking for homes or maybe even selling a home and just wants to pick up some tidbits along the way. What an awesome day to be out here too. So we are going to pop inside. All right, here we are just inside the front door, and I'm going to pan around a little bit, and I'm going to do this throughout the video just so you can see all the finishes in the room, because when people are looking for homes, it's so easy just to look kind of at your eye height, you know, but people aren't looking down, they're not looking up. For instance, right here, you can see the size of base molding. You know, a lot of times base molding in a home might be 7 1/4. There you have probably about 9 1/4 on that base molding. So see, little differences like that differentiate the homes, and some of those aspects play a big part when you've got different ceiling heights. You know, the finishes have to stay proportional. So just off the left here, got a nice sitting room. Note the crown molding, note the recessed lighting. You go in some homes and the recessed lighting's not there. Got the main staircase. This particular home does have 2 staircases upstairs, which is so convenient. One of them kind of comes down near the kitchen, in case anybody upstairs need that midnight snack. It's really nice too, here from the front door area in the foyer, you can see directly through the home. And they, part of the remodel, and we'll kind of get into the remodel a little bit as we go, they went ahead and put in a lot of glass when they put in new doors, and that just helps with the daylight so much throughout the home. To the right here, you've got the dining room. And notice how bright it is in here. Lots of windows throughout. And you know, the brightness of a home just lends itself to so much, you know, about people's mood. You know, brightness just brings cheer. Just so you can have kind of a picture of how the room was laid out. This goes straight through a butler's pantry. Cabinets to the ceiling. Nice cool bubble glass there. Really nice hardware. And you know, when they remodeled, you know, these selections just stand the test of time. So they gave a lot of forethought to that. To the left, you've got the pantry. Walk in, plenty of storage. No matter if you're going to Sam's or Costco, this one will hold it. Adjustable shelving. See, those little things you go, it's so easy to go through and look at homes and not notice, you know, the little details. And then later when you're living in the home, you think that you overlooked something. Now see, they went ahead and remodeled the entire kitchen here. Lighting, look at those beams. And everybody loves the stainless range. Look at that. Twin ovens on there. And that's something that people talk about as well. You know, if they're considering going with a range or if they want to do double ovens in the wall, You know, sometimes the range might only have one oven in it. But for those key holidays or maybe entertaining, that second oven, even in a range, comes in handy. Microwave's well positioned. Okay, so if we circle through the kitchen, we're going to come back to what we would probably call a drop zone. So over here you have just a utility closet. You've got your laundry. Plenty of cabinet storage above. Base cabinets, plenty of storage there. Got your sink. Really nice utility room. And there is a second laundry upstairs as well. So when we first started the video, you might have caught a glimpse of the second door on the front, and that would be where this comes in. Straight ahead you go to the 3-car garage. And this is what we would probably call a drop zone at our house. You know, it's where everybody drops, you know, backpacks, coats, jackets, shoes, and what have you. Comes in really handy. And you've got a powder right here, which is really nice. You know, maybe somebody's working out in the yard and they come in through the garage and they don't want to walk through the house with dirty shoes or something. You come right in the garage, you've got a powder right there. I mean, look at the view just from this island. Look at the size of that island. I mean, that is awesome. And again, take note of all the windows. Everything you're seeing now, you know, is just daylight combined with a few light fixtures. Got your informal dining. And keep in mind, even that table seats 6. So that's awesome right there. All right, what we have here is kind of a small office building, or excuse me, not building, but office space. And you know, this comes in so handy, even if it's not like work from home. You know, sometimes you just need somewhere to throw down a laptop, pay bills, store some stuff. And this is the perfect kind of satellite area to do that. All the storage in there. Notice also the bump down height. So that's a desk height right there, down from counter height. And here's the second staircase. So this is going to go upstairs just toward this end of the hall, and then the main staircase outputs you upstairs on the other end. Look at that floor color too. You know, lighter has kind of been the trends recently. Back in maybe the 90s, maybe even the early 2000s, there was kind of that lighter color that was kind of honey. Or maybe some of them didn't start as honey, but maybe over time they evolved to honey. But then darker floors kind of became the trend. Then you had kind of ebony that was in for a while, maybe the hand scraped look. And all of them look good. It just kind of depends on the style of the home. But right now, these lighter floors are kind of popular, and that's exactly what they've got here. If you note too, all the different areas in the home, perfect for entertaining. You know, when you're entertaining, people tend to break off in groups a little bit for some conversation, and then they kind of come all back together. So this kind of allows for those satellite areas. You've got the porch, you've got here this living space by the fireplace. A couple more that we're going to see along the way. Of course, we know everybody's going to be here in the kitchen where the food is, right? Another pass through, you've got your beverage and wine area here. And I like the mix too. You know, the kitchen is white and this is stain grade wood. I like that. Another more formal living room. Second fireplace. Look how bright it is in here. Just to kind of show you an example of how the room could be set up. Metal doors and all glass. And again, you can see out there, just a beautiful yard out there. And again, on about 1.6 acres. Plenty of seating area. So off this end of the hall, we're going to go into the primary. Again, nice and bright. Now, every time I see that base molding, I just love the size of that base molding. And once you notice a detail like that, it really does. It just stands out, you know. 5 1/4 and 7 1/4 are pretty common. Once you start going up to like 9 1/4 and 11-inch base, that's very custom. So sometimes you can tell by the finishes in a home how custom the build was, or if somebody specifically spec'd out a size of something. Love the countertops. And see, that's gonna be timeless, that selection. Same with the floor. Look at that. That is just awesome. And I think everybody likes a bright bathroom. I mean, it just makes the white pop and kind of makes it look like a spa. Yeah, that's just awesome. So here you have your twin vanities or your twin sinks, and then you also have the makeup counter in between. Triple mirrors, flanked by sconces there. That looks really good. Got your large walk-in closet. If you notice, you know, they continue the hardwood into the closet. Some will transition to a carpet there, but they went ahead and kept the hardwood, which is actually a lot easier to clean. Run a Swiffer across it and you're good to go. And look at all the different types of storage spaces. So, you know, whether you're buying a home, designing a home, or in your building, that's one thing to keep in mind with your closet. For instance, you have full length hanging there. You've got half height hanging there. You've got drawers, and then you've got more half height there. So everybody's a little bit different on what they need, whether they do a lot of, you know, long coats, long dresses, or if they're just half height shirts and slacks. Got your shoe racks, or you could stack some shirts. And again, those are all adjustable. Yeah, super walk-in closet. Look at that view right there. I mean, that just looks awesome. All right, so we're circling back around to the main living area. We're going to go upstairs. And take a look at the bedrooms upstairs. Okay, so we've just come up the main staircase. It wraps around. You got a switchback staircase. Look at that curved wall too. I love curved walls. And that is really, really nice right there. Lighting fixture. You also have the curved crown molding. That's always interesting to watch them develop the curved crown molding. Depending on the arc, they go about it several different ways. So you open up to this hallway. We've got a bedroom on each side. So let's just start here. Come in. We've got walk-in closet. And you're going to notice that all the closets here are large, especially for secondary bedrooms. You've got all the storage and, again, adjustable shelves. Also, just like we noticed in the closet downstairs, you know, they continued the hardwood up here as well. 2 windows up here in the bedroom, keeps it nice and bright. This leads us to a shared bathroom between 2 bedrooms. So I'm just going to show you the floor, show you all the tub finishes. And see when they did the remodel on this too. Perfect, perfect selections. Beautiful countertops. So we are actually transitioning into the second bedroom that shares that bathroom. Again, large closet. Got built-in storage, lots of half-height hanging. Okay, so we're going to catch the bedroom on the other side of the hallway when we first came up. I'm going to double back here and just show you this bedroom. And sometimes I'll give instructions just to kind of give you a relative feel of where we are at in the home. And that's one reason I do the walkthrough videos is, when you see still pictures of a home online, you don't quite get the relation of how the rooms fit together. This room is just huge. It goes in here to like a playroom or an auxiliary room. So if you had, I don't know, maybe multi-generational setup in a home or something like that, there are so many options in this one where you can have multiple living spaces combined with a suite. I mean, look at that. It just keeps going. And this is the curved wall. This is the back wall of that staircase. Just love curved walls. So they've got this set up as a playroom, but this could be a living room if you wanted to turn this into a suite for somebody. And it may not be that you had somebody living in. It just could be that, you want somewhere for extended stay guests to really kind of have a getaway space. Show you all the finishes here. Love that floor. See, these are the finishes if somebody was building a home right now. They would be selecting finishes like this. So these are awesome. Same thing on the countertop. The vanity profile. Come through, you've got a walk-in closet. And you notice all of this is bright. I personally like really bright homes. I like a lot of light fixtures in a home. I figure I can always turn the light down, but I can't turn it up if I don't have it. So we're turning to the hall, turning left, and we just went through the bedroom on the right. Come an auxiliary storage room. How cool is this? Multiple desks. You could put, set that up as a couple different workspaces, whether it be for people doing schoolwork or even if you had a couple different office scenarios where you didn't need, extensive spaces. You just needed places for laptops. Right across from upstairs laundry. That door goes to attic storage. Look at the size of that room. Got a powder. So see, this is a room where you could segment this into several different uses. You could have entertainment on one end with TV. You could have a pool table, game table, or several sitting areas up here. Yeah, this is awesome. Got a powder up here. So that's just a look down the hallway from where we came. We're going to slide over here. And this is the staircase, the second staircase that goes downstairs. And this leads to the kitchen area that took you out at the kitchen and the small office area that was toward the beginning of the video. So we're going to come downstairs and end up in the kitchen. So here's the staircase we just came down, brings you right out to the kitchen. And that is one gorgeous kitchen. You know, one thing I like, and I point this out a lot in videos just because it's such a smart thing. You know, a lot of the islands here have the hangovers, you know, kind of there where people can sit and eat, whether they're just during entertaining or maybe breakfast or something. But one of the cool things is your chair or your stool selection. See how these nicely slide under? Because if you have a chair or a stool that is too large, it actually comes out into your traffic area. And I tell you, it's a small detail, but I sure like to point it out. Your chair or your stool selection at an island is so important. Yeah, that is beautiful. And again, the address of this home is 5899 Wilshire Drive, and this is in Nashville, Tennessee. It's in Forest Hills, which is between Brentwood and Green Hills. So you have all the easy access to everything in Brentwood, everything in Green Hills. You have all the shopping, dining, and pretty much everything is easily accessible. If you want to go downtown to any sports events or anything on Broadway, or if you want to dip down to Franklin, you are in a spectacular location where all of those are easily accessible. The home again has 5 bedrooms, 4 full baths, 3 powders. It's on 1.6 acres. And we're going to dip into the basement and show you the basement level of the home. So if we come back through this living area, front door is on the left there. That's just to keep your bearings. We're going to come right next to the main staircase, and we're going to head downstairs. Here's where we just came down into the basement. We're going to go left. And you're going to see a lot of spaces here are flex spaces. You can do so much with any of these. And if you didn't need them for bedrooms or anything like that, you know, it can also just be conditioned storage. You know, a lot of times people see attic space or basement space, and they wish they just had more storage. And sometimes they want conditioned storage. Maybe they want to put furniture in there or something. So if you don't necessarily need these for living spaces, they can also make awesome storage spaces. They had this set up as a media room, and in a basement is a perfect spot for a media room. So you put your couches back here, have all your audio and video on the opposing wall. So lots of options down here. Or if you have a rowdy crowd and they like to play loud, this might be your option too. So you have a full bath here on the left. And show you the sink. And where that full bath really comes in handy is this area here. You know, this is a large living space in itself. You got double doors there, a bedroom on the far side. So if you wanted to turn this into a living room, again, live-in guests, or maybe just extended stay guests, you have so many options. You've got this, you've got the one on the upper level, plenty of options. Got the wood flooring throughout. A little bit of transition with only the bed frame there, but it gives you an idea of the scale of the room. I mean, look how much extra room there is still there. And And it's nice, this walkout basement. You know, you've got the double doors there. You walk out to the side yard. That is just beautiful. So this is one of the homes that it just keeps going and going, you know. You have wonderful surprises around every corner. So we are going to head back upstairs. So we've just come upstairs into what would be the more formal living room. So that's a walkthrough tour of 5899 Wilshire Drive. And again, that is in Nashville, Tennessee. It is about 66 in square footage, 5 bedroom, 4 full baths, 3 powders, 1.6 acres. A lot of remodeling done on it, which looks spectacular. So there you have it, the walkthrough tour. Well, I hope you liked the tour. I hope you saw it. I hope the video kind of gave you some relation on where the rooms are configured and how the home is laid out. But if you'd like to see the home in person, feel free to reach out. Again, my name is Sean Larson, real estate broker here in Middle Tennessee and also 38 Florida. If I can help you with any questions regarding any home, just reach out and I'll be happy to help you. I hope you have a super day.